Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the process of making this Chinoiserie pattern. As the name suggests, Chinoiserie originates from China. It was a way to decorate the interiors of palaces and stately homes by painting beautiful plants and flowers and animals, usually in the most decorative way, things like birds and butterflies. When Western colonialists discovered it, they brought it back to Europe, and this decorative style quickly spread all across Europe and the West. So I start by painting my motifs using watercolor. And let me show you my white mix. These are white flowers. Funnily enough, it's a mix of brown and blue. So I'm using Sennelier Burnt Umber and French Ultramarine. And at first it looks really dark, but if I dilute the paint, it actually makes this lovely warm shadow mix. When I finished painting, I move on to cutting the elements out of the background. I actually prefer to do this in Procreate. The selection tool lets me get into all the nooks and crannies and do this with a lot of control and precision. So in Procreate, choose this button here. Make sure you select the freehand version. And once you've drawn around your selection, come up to Layers and choose Clear. This will remove the unwanted selection in one fell swoop, or you can simply use the eraser. When this part of the process is complete, I open this document up in Photoshop and begin arranging my pattern. Ever since Photoshop have introduced the pattern preview option here in the view menu, arranging patterns has become super easy because you can see what's happening in real time as you position your elements. One thing I want you to notice here, if you have the pattern preview activated and you place an element on the edge of the tile, if you start rotating it, you'll notice that it actually gets cut off. So if you do want to rotate it or tilt it in some way, it's best to return it to the center of the tile, do it there, and then move it back to the edge. And sometimes, as you can see here with this rose, even though I've moved it to the center of the tile, it still continues to be linked with the others. This means I need to cut it out of that layer. I'm going to press L on my keyboard to bring up the lasso tool, draw a selection around the element, and right click on it and cut it out of its layer. I can now delete the layer underneath it. It's empty, and I have my element back. I can rotate it, turn it around, no problem. Okay, now I'm just going to move my elements around, spread them out, and arrange them so that it looks good as a pattern. When you have an object selected, press Command T on your keyboard, then right-click on your object, and you will bring up this free transform menu, which is a great little shortcut for it. And again, with this little rosebud, you can see it's linked with other similar elements in the pattern preview. So if I tilt it, it's very difficult to control, so I need to cut it out of that layer. I'm going to press L on my keyboard to bring up the lasso tool, draw a little area around it, and right click on it to cut it out of that layer. I can now delete the empty layer underneath it, and this little guy is available to move around again. And at the moment, as you can see, this rosebud is kind of disjointed from the rest of the plant. I need to find a good position and merge them seamlessly. With the rosebud selected, I'm going to use a lasso tool to draw a little section at the bottom of its stalk there, and right click on it and make a copy of that layer. I'm going to flip it around and position it as closely as possible to the main branch. Erase any excess, and then basically use a combination of spot healing brush and clone stamp tool to blend this together. Oh, and it's worth noting that clone stamp tool only works with the pattern preview mode turned off. Okay, a similar story needs to happen here. I want to position this element so it looks quite seamless on the branch, but this time I'm just using a soft round eraser brush to blend it with the main branch. The rest of the time, I'm simply going to spend massaging the different elements into place, moving them around, seeing where they work best. Sometimes this part takes longer than actually drawing the elements, but it's really fun. You can be really creative with the visual flow and rhythm that you're creating here. And once I'm done, I end up with something that looks like this.